Hello everyone, you're welcome to class today. My name is Banke and we'll be taking a look at some NABTEB Chemistry class questions. Let's get started. Question 1. Two miscible liquids, A with boiling point 35 degrees C and B boiling point 38 degrees C are mixed together in a container. The separation technique to be employed is, meaning we have two miscible liquids in the same container but with different boiling points. So what separation technique can be effectively adopted? A. Distillation, B. Evaporation, C. Fractional distillation, D. The use of separating funnel. When you have two liquid with different boiling points, fractional distillation is a technique that can be used to separate these miscible liquids. And as you can see in the picture illustrated, we have the column set. This is the liquid mixture of A and B, and with an heat source, then a thermometer to measure the temperature. So in this setup, the one with the lower melting point vaporizes first, and this is the condenser that condenses it to liquid. So the correct answer is fractional distillation, option C. Question 2. The sum of protons and neutrons of an atom is known as. Proton and neutron are present in the atomic nucleus, while electron is present in the outer shell. The summation of proton and nucleus is known as mass number. Option A, relative atomic mass, B, mass number, C, atomic number, D, isotope number. The correct answer is option B, mass number. Question 3. The relative atomic masses of some elements are not whole numbers. Why? Because of what is known as isotopy, meaning atoms of the same element have the same number of protons but different neutrons. For example, we have carbon and chlorine. So we have isotopes of elements. So the same number of proton, different number of neutron. That is why relative atomic masses of some elements are not whole numbers. Option A, isotopy. Option B, allotropy. C, isomerism. D, polymerization. So the correct answer is isotopy, option A. Question 4. The following are chemical changes except which of these options are chemical changes except one? Option A, decay of organic matter. B, eating of ionic crystals. C, burning of wood. D, rusting of iron. Chemical changes are irreversible. A new product is being formed, unlike physical changes that is easily reversible. The correct answer here is eating of ionic crystals, option B. Question 5. If the atomic numbers of elements X and Y are 12 and 17, then the formula of the compound they formed is, for element X, the atomic number is 12. Then element Y, the atomic number is 17. The element that has the atomic number to be 12 is magnesium. Then the element with the atomic number 17 is magnesium chloride. So the question is asking that when this reacts together, magnesium plus chlorine, the formula of the compound, what formula of compound do they form? That's they form magnesium chloride. That's MgCl2, magnesium chloride. So our magnesium initially represents X. Then our chlorine represents Y. So combining the two, we have X, Y, 2. That's XY2. So from the option provided, we can see option A, XY. Option B, XY2. Option C, X2Y. Option D, X1, Y2. So the correct answer is, this option D might look similar with what we get, but the proper way to write it is XY2. Option B. Question 6. The empirical formula of a hydrocarbon containing 0.12 mole of carbon and 0.6 mole of hydrogen is. In order to calculate the empirical formula, what you just need to do is to divide by the lowest number of mole. So that's what we are going to do right here. So what are the given values? Given, we have carbon to be 0.1 mole, then hydrogen to give 0.36 mole. So we are dividing by the lowest number of mole. That's 0.12, 0.36. So divide by the lowest number, which is 0.12. 0.12. This is 0.12, we cancel each other, giving us 1. Then 0.12, we cancel 0.36 to give us 3. So we have C1H3. The correct way to write this is CH3. So from the options, we can see option A, CH, option B, CH3, option C, C2H3, option D, C3H1. The correct answer from our calculation is CH3, option B. Question 7. Which of the following laws is obeyed when one volume of hydrogen reacts with 1 volume of chlorine to give 2 volumes of hydrogen chloride? The law that obeys this question is called Gay-Lussac law of combining volume. So let's take a look at the options. Option A, law of reciprocal proportions. B, Boyle's law. C, Charles' law. D, Gay-Lussac's law. The correct answer is Gay-Lussac's law, option D. Question 8. On exposure to hydrogen sulfide, moist lead 2 ethanoate paper turns, meaning when you react hydrogen sulfide with lead 2 salt, this will give you lead sulfide. That's hydrogen sulfide plus lead will give. So this will give lead sulfide. So on exposure to hydrogen sulfide, moist lead 2 ethanoate turns black. So that's the correct answer. We have option A, black, option B, blue, option C, green, option D, yellow. The correct answer is black, option A. Question 9. The number of hydrogen ions in 1 dm cube, that's the volume, to be 1 dm cube. 1 dm cube of a 0.25 mole per dm cube tetraososulfate 6 acid, that's H2SO form. The concentration of H2SO4 is equal to 0.25 mole per dm cube. So in this question, we have to calculate the number of hydrogen ions. So we are provided with the volume 1 dm cube and concentration of tetraososulfate 6 acid solution is 0.25 mole per dm cube. So we are also given the Avogadro's constant. That's Avogadro's constant to be 0.6.0 times 10 raised to power 23. So in order to calculate the hydrogen ions in this compound H2SO4, we see that hydrogen has 2 atoms. So we have 2 times the concentration given, that's 0.25. 0.25. That will give us 2 times 0.25. That should give us 0.5. That's the mole. That's the mole of hydrogen atom, 0.5 mole. So to calculate the number of hydrogen ions, we'll have the mole of hydrogen times the Avogadro's constant. That will give us 0.5 times 6.0 times 10 raised to power 23. If you press calculator correctly, we'll have 3 times 10 raised to power 23. So the options are option A, 1.45 times 10 raised to power 23, B, 3 times 10 raised to power 23, C, 1.5 times 10 raised to power 23, D, 3.15 times 10 raised to power 23. From our calculations, we got 3 times 10 raised to power 23. The correct answer is option B. Question 10. The product of the electrolysis of dilute sodium chloride solution with platinum electrodes are, we can see from the pictorial illustration here, this dilute sodium chloride solution, that's brine. So what products are we expecting? We have hydrogen at the positive side and chlorine at the negative side. But looking at it, it was mentioned that the sodium chloride solution was diluted. Normally, hydrogen is emitted at the positive side, but at the negative side, we can have oxygen. So the correct answer is hydrogen and oxygen. Option A, hydrogen and oxygen. B, oxygen and chlorine. C, chlorine and sodium amalgam. D, sodium, hydrogen and water. The correct answer is hydrogen, which is constant at the positive side, then chlorine, then oxygen at the negative side. Question 11. In modern terms, helium has gradually replaced hydrogen gas in balloons. This is because in modern times, there has been replacement of hydrogen gas with helium. Why is that so? Especially in balloons. Why is that so? Is it because option A is expensive, B is highly inflammable, C explodes in the air, D is a heavier gas? Why? Because hydrogen is highly inflammable. That means it can easily catch fire, unlike helium. So that is why helium has replaced hydrogen gas in balloon. So the correct answer is option B, because hydrogen is highly inflammable. Option B. Question 12. The following compounds are hygroscopic, except which of these options listed here can absorb water easily, can absorb moisture when exposed to air? Which of these compounds can absorb moisture easily except one? A. Copper 2 oxide, B. Iron 3 chloride, C. Sodium hydroxide, D. Quicklime calcium carbonate. So the correct answer is copper 2 oxide. Copper 2 oxide is not hygroscopic in nature. Question 13. In the reaction represented by the following equation, SO2 is acting as, looking at this reaction, hydrogen sulfide is reduced, the sulfur here, the sulfur for SO2, the sulfur here is reduced to sulfur at this side. If you calculate the oxidation state, the oxidation number of sulfur here in SO2, let's calculate it. The oxidation number of sulfur, that's S plus minus 2, oxygen has minus 2, then times 2 is equal to 0. S plus minus 4 is equal to 0. That's S minus 4 is equal to 0. S is equal to plus 4. That means sulfur here is reduced from plus 4 to 0 here. It doesn't have a charge. It's reduced from plus 4 to 0. That means there's loss of electron. And in a situation whereby sulfur, an element is reduced for another element to be oxidized, that element that it is itself reduced is known as an oxidizing agent. So the correct answer is B, oxidizing agent. Question 14. How is pure aluminium obtained from bauxite? A. Dissolve bauxite in cold water and filter out impurities. B. Dissolve bauxite in hot concentrated sodium hydroxide. Filter impurities, precipitate aluminium hydroxide. Dry and heat to get alumina. Then electrolyze alumina in molten cryolite. Option C. Heat bauxite directly to get aluminium metal. Option D. Mix bauxite with water and boil to get alumina. So how is pure? The question is asking how can we get pure aluminium from bauxite? So the correct answer is you dissolve bauxite in hot concentrated sodium hydroxide, then impurities are filtered, aluminium hydroxide is precipitated, then you further dry the precipitate and heat to get alumina, then electrolyze the alumina in molten cryolite. So that makes option B to be the correct answer. Question 15. What is the IUPAC name of alum with the formula potassium aluminium sulfate this. So what is the formula of the, that's what the IUPAC, the name, that's what the question is asking. So let's take a look at the elements. We have K to be potassium, this aluminium, this is aluminium sulfate, and because we have 12 molecules of water here, that is why it's known as dodecahydrate. So the name of this compound, which is commonly known as alum, so that is used in water to coagulate dirt in water. So the name, the IUPAC name is potassium aluminium sulfate, 12, which is 12 molecules of water, meaning dodecahydride. So let's look at the option. Option A, potassium aluminium sulfate dodecahydrate. B, potassium aluminium trisulfate. C, potassium aluminium 3 tetraosulfate 6 dodecahydrate. D, potassium sulfate. The correct answer is option A, potassium aluminium sulfate dodecahydrate. Question 16. Which of the following is not a use of alum? Is not a use of alum. A, for water purification. B, mordant in dyeing. C, fuel in engines. D, none of the above. Alum, potassium, potassium aluminium sulfate dodecahydrate can be used in water purification. It can be used to fix dye on clothes, but is not used as a fuel in engines. So the correct answer is C, fuel in engines, option C. Question 17. Which metals can be extracted by electrolysis? Option A, sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. B, iron, copper, zinc. C, gold, silver, platinum. D, lead, tin, mercury. So which of these metals can be extracted by electrolysis? The compounds that can be, the metals that are many extracted by electrolysis are very strong metals. So they are sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. They can be extracted by electrolysis. Option A is the correct answer. Question 18. What is the composition of duralumin alloy? When you say alloy, means combination of two or more metals together. So, option A, aluminium, magnesium, copper, and manganese. B, aluminium, iron, nickel. C, aluminium and zinc only. D, aluminium and lead. The composition of duralumin alloy is the combination of aluminium, which is the base metal. Then we have magnesium, we have copper, and manganese. Option A is the correct answer. Question 19. Which of the following is the use of aluminium brass alloy? Aluminium brass alloy is aluminium in combination with copper, and it's very beautiful. It's used in medals, can be used for decoration purpose. So option A, making permanent magnets. Option B, casting coins and medals. Option C, aircraft construction. Option D, electrical wiring. So aluminum brass alloy, aluminium copper is used for casting alloy, for casting coins, and also used in medals because it doesn't get rust easily. So option B is the correct answer. Question 20. What is the correct IUPAC name for this? CH3COOCH. This compound is an ester, and if you look at it, it has a methyl and alcohol combined together. So let's see the options. Methyl ethanoate, B, ethyl ethanoate, C, methyl acetate, D, ethyl acetate. Because it has alcohol with methyl, makes it to be methyl ethanoate. Option A is the correct answer. 21. Question 21. State the second law of thermodynamics. Option A, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. B, the entropy of the universe always increase in spontaneous process. C, heat flows from cold to hot bodies. D, total energy remains constant. The second law of thermodynamics indicates that the entropy of the universe always increases in spontaneous process. That makes option B to be the correct answer. Question 22. Which of the following is an exothermic reaction? From the word exo means outside, endo means inside, then thermic, that means heat. So the combining the two words together, exothermic, that means there's release of heat. So which of the following is an exothermic reaction? Option A, delta H is negative and heat is released. Delta H is positive and heat is absorbed. C, option C, heat is absorbed without a temperature change. Option D, none of the above. So option A, which is delta H is negative and each heat is released. So that is what is known as exothermic reaction. Option A is the correct answer. Question 23. What is a supersaturated solution? Supersaturated means we have the ratio of the solvent to the solute is not like balanced for the solvent to dissolve the solute, meaning you have a little quantity of water and you have more of salt. That's what is known as supersaturated. So option A, solution with dissolved solute is equal to its maximum capacity. No, that is not what a supersaturated solution is. If that is the case, it will dissolve properly. B, solution with dissolved solute more than its maximum capacity at a given temperature. C, solution with no dissolved solute. D, solution that is not saturated. The correct answer is solution with dissolved solute but more than its maximum capacity at a given temperature. Option B is the correct answer. Question 24. What is the molar mass of KNO3? That's potassium triisonitrate 5. So what is the molar mass? Let's calculate that. So to calculate the molar mass of this compound, potassium have the atomic number to be 39, nitrogen 14, then oxygen 16. To calculate this, we have one atom of potassium, that's 1 times 39 plus 1 times 14 plus 3 atoms of hydrogen, 3 atoms of oxygen, 3 times 16. So these will give us 1 times 39, 39 plus 1 times 14, 14 plus 3 times 16. That will give us 48. So if you press our calculator correctly, we have 39 plus 14 plus 48. That will give us 101 gram per mole. So the correct answer here is 101 gram per mole. That is the correct answer, option A. Question 25. Which allotrope of carbon is used as a lubricant and as electrodes? So which allotropes of carbon? We have diamond, graphite. Those are examples of allotrope of carbon. So which exactly is used as a lubricant and as electrode? Option A, diamond. B, graphite. C, coke. D, charcoal. The correct answer is graphite. Graphite is used as a lubricant. Option B is the correct answer. Question 26. Which process describes heating coal in the absence of air? A, combustion. B, destructive distillation. C, fractional distillation. D, electrolysis. So the process of heating a substance in the absence of air is known as destructive distillation. So the correct answer is B, destructive distillation. Question 27. What principle states that a system at equilibrium is balanced will adjust to reduce the effects of any imposed change? Option A, the His law. B, Le Chatelet's principle. C, Boyle's law. D, Dalton's law. So the correct answer is Le Chatelet's principle. If there is any disturbance at an equilibrium state, it will adjust to make sure there is balance in the system. So that's the basic explanation of Le Chatelet's principle. Option B is the correct answer. Question 28. What happens to the equilibrium of nitrogen plus hydrogen to form ammonia when pressure is increased? In this stage, what happens when you look at the number of moles at this side, we have 4. Unlike this side, we have 2. So this left hand side is higher than the right hand side. For equilibrium to happen at an increased pressure, it kind of favors the right hand side. So that means there is more production of ammonia. So what happens to the equilibrium of these when pressure is increased? Option A is shifts to the left. Option B, shift to the right. Option C, no change. Option D, reaction stop. Because this side is lower, the left side is lower than the right side. So it mainly favors the lower side, which is the right side. That makes option B the correct answer. It shifts to the right. Question 29. What are two physical differences between fats and oils? Fat is solid at room temperature and oil is liquid at room temperature. Just imagine butter and vegetable oil. So option A, fats are liquids at room temperature, oils are solids. That's not correct. B, fats have high melting points, oils have low melting points. C, oils are made from proteins, fats are made from carbohydrates. D, oils evaporate easily, fats do not. The correct answer is fats have high melting points. Why? Because it's solid at room temperature. So and it will require high melting points because they are tightly packed, while oils have low melting points. So the correct answer is B. Fat have high melting points, oil have low melting points. Option B is the correct answer. Question 30. How is vegetable oil converted to margarine? Option A, by freezing oil. B, by heating the oil with a nickel catalyst and bubbling hydrogen at high pressure. Option C, by mixing the oil with water. D, by adding salt directly to oil. In order to convert vegetable oil to margarine, is by heating the oil with a catalyst, a nickel catalyst, to speed up the reaction. And then hydrogen is applied. There's bubbling of hydrogen at high temperature, just as is shown in the picture here. So the correct answer is B. By heating the oil with a nickel catalyst and bubbling hydrogen at high pressure. Option B is the correct answer. Now we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any question, you can drop them in the comments section. And don't forget to like and share. See you in the next class.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 type of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC, Cacao,